Are you a true crime advocate? Are you passionate about uncovering the truth and bringing justice to victims? Do you love the paranormal and spooky tales? Then you won't want to miss the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast Festival taking place in Austin, Texas from August 25th to the 27th of 2023. This festival features panel discussions, workshops, and live podcasts with a special focus on ethics and advocacy in the true crime sphere. Get your tickets now at truecrimepodcastfestival.com and join us in Austin for an unforgettable experience. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with other advocates and take your passion for true crime and the paranormal to the next level. So book your tickets today at truecrimepodcastfestival.com and be part of this amazing event. Use code CONSEQUENCES to save 15% on your ticket to the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast Festival. Hey, True Advocates, it's me, Eric Carter-Landin, and today we're doing things a little bit differently. We have an interview with the mother of Alana Gamboa. Andrea is Alana's mother. Alana was murdered this year. In fact, she was murdered this month on July 4th, 2023. So it's not normal that I jump into a case this early, but Andrea, Alana's mom, had asked me for help, and I did not want to say no to her. I'm going to be taking you through this case along with Andrea, and I'm hoping that you can use the call to action to help this grieving mother get justice for her daughter. I'm Eric Carter-Landin, and this is True Consequences. On July 4th, 2023, in the early morning, Albuquerque police responded to a call about a potential car crash near Catherine and Columbia. The police department said that when they got there, they found Alana Gamboa in her car. She had passed away from gunshot wounds. There are no answers right now in this case, as it is an open investigation, as you can imagine. Now, there's a lot of frustration on the part of Alana's mom. She's frustrated because she feels like she has not been kept in the loop with regards to her daughter's murder. But before we go into any of that, I want you to listen to Andrea tell me all about her daughter, Alana.
My daughter's name is Alana Gamboa. Alana was born on August 8th, 2003.
Was she born here in New Mexico?
No, we're from California.
You're from California.
Yes.
That's right. So she was born in California.
California at 5:01 p.m.
Wow.
My baby, Alana, she was just a true trooper. She was the sweetest soul. I'm a single parent, so Alana grew up most of the time with just me. Her dad was there in and out of incarceration. So it was us and grandma a lot, and her farm, her animals, all her animals. Every stray she brought home. She just loved animals. She was always helping, and she was always making something and trying to be creative and just do her own little make and sell things. Yeah, she was very headstrong. She liked making her own business, so she made jewelry, semi-precious bracelets. We moved here in 2016 from California, and she hated me. She lived in her room the first year. She was a teen. I think it was 8th grade. I was the worst parent because I brought her from her friends, and she had to start over here. And eventually, after staying in her room for a year, she came out and she met friends she started going to high school at Del Norte and graduated. My baby graduated. She was accepted into the society, the National Society of Scholars.
Wow.
So proud of her being a teen mom. And I had her at 16. So gosh, when I got that bumper sticker, I cried. And then I got that acceptance letter to UNM before she even graduated from Del Norte. So I was oh my God, all over social media, just letting everyone know that curse can be broken. Those chains can be broken. You can be a teen mom and your kids can very well be successful in life. And she was doing it. She had 2 jobs, and then she had her little side business, making semi-precious bracelets that she cleansed for healing for others. And, that's what she did.
So she was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Very studious. Yeah. You must have been so proud to see her graduate.
Oh, I was the loudest mom out there. And I remember just saying, I screamed out, thank you. Like, why am I thanking her? Because she graduated. At the time, I hadn't graduated. And she was my encouragement to go in. And I graduated last year, a year after her. But I was like, look, Alana, I graduated.
That's amazing.
Too. So
she inspired you.
Oh, yeah. She was my motivation. Oh, she's doing this. All right, Alana, yeah, I'm going to do it too. She did go to UNM during the COVID. She was accepted during COVID. So she would come home for 2 weeks just bawling her eyes out. Mom, Google Maps, it's not working. And she was very quiet. She was opposite of me. I'm very outspoken. I'll tell you how I feel. My face will tell you how I feel. But she's just very quiet. She won't ask for directions. So she just came home bawling her eyes out for 2 weeks. And then her grandma passed away the day she started the university. Oh, that took a lot out of her. And then after that 2 weeks, I remember her coming home and I was like, why aren't you at school? And I took a grievance. And she's old enough. She's 18 of the age. She was able to. Mm-hmm. They let her. So I had to just accept that she was just going to work. Okay, she wants to work like me. I started working when she was 17 days old. I get it. Mm-hmm. I can't stop her. And that's what she did. She had 2 jobs. She worked with me in retail. She just always all about her animals. Always. I have a farm at home right now because of her. She's like, always about animals.
So let's talk about, you say you have a farm, but I know you live in the city. So tell me what you mean by that.
She left me 7 cats, 1 dog, but her dog of 13 years just passed away in January. Now they're together, and 2 guinea pigs. And let me tell you, that 7th cat is a newborn, like a brand new newborn. I'm like, all right, Lana, joke's on me. Yeah. I got another kid. I got to take care of this baby.
You got like 10 kids.
Yeah. And I don't know, I have other kids, so she had the responsibility of caring for her animals financially. So I'm just like, great, you left me this farm. Now I got to add these to my bills. And geez, Alana, I was at the store today just bawling my eyes out in the cat aisle because that's what she did. She went for the cat litter. And in her room, she still has her list of all the things that she didn't get to pick up at the store. Cat litter box came in Amazon the other day. I was like, oh, here we go, Alana. All right, you gave me a head start. Little things.
What kind of music did she like?
So it's crazy because I didn't really care for her music. It was like Juice WRLD and stuff like that. And she had the minute she turned 18, she came home with a tattoo every weekend. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. When'd you get that? Like, I didn't even know she had all these. And her hands, I was like, your hands? She just covered her hands with art. It was art to her. It wasn't, it wasn't tattoos to her. It was art. And she just enjoyed showing it off. It was just beautiful.
Nothing
art.
Racy.
Yeah, nothing racy. And she liked Juice WRLD. I know she liked Juice WRLD. And I don't like that kind of music. The newer generation of music. And she was so into that stuff. So like when her friends play it, I'm like, okay. But I remember it in her room playing. Mm. And she always had the Simpsons episodes on. Always. Her and her boyfriend in her room. Like, she didn't bring many boyfriends home. There was one little one in high school. He cheated. He was gone after that. And then she was real heartbroken for years. And then she had one before she passed. And they were together, I think over a year. Oh, they loved each other. They were like 2 peas in a pod. It was like peanut butter and jelly. The best sister. She was the best sister. Anything, she worked in retail and she worked in the stock room. She dealt with the shoes. And the day before she died, she came home with 2 pairs of Nikes for her little brother. And I remember asking her when she was in line paying for him, I was like, let me get one of those. She was like, I'm taking both. And she always thought of her siblings. For Christmas, they got bags of stuff, like just stuff. Like she was the teen that didn't wrap. She just threw it in all bags, but filled them. And anything, even if whatever her brother needed in California, because I have one that lives in California and 2 siblings here. in the home with us. So there was 3 here. Us 4 at home and 1 in California. Whatever he needed, she made sure her friend took it to her brother. Whatever it was. He needed shoes. He needed money for his wrestling. He needed a ride. And I didn't know. There was time, like, she's, oh yeah, Mom, my brother needed this. So I sent my friend over to help him. Really? Okay. She just amazed me. She was just so helpful. So helpful. And I'm the same way, but she was very quiet with me, very reserved, very serious with me. And then with others, I'm learning she was just so happy, goofy. And like when they send me pictures of her, she's just goofy. I'm like, oh, you guys got to see that side of her. And she wasn't always just serious. And that just, it warms my heart to know that because I didn't see it. Well, Alana.
Now that you've learned about Alana, I want you to hear what happened from the perspective of Andrea.
I got a call at July 4th at 7:24. I woke up to a random number that I didn't have saved in my phone. And they asked me, is this the mother of Alana Gamboa? And I said, yeah. And I jumped out of bed and I was like, is she okay? And they were like, we need to talk to you. Is she okay? I just kept asking that question over and over. Is she okay? Is she okay? And they wouldn't tell me. They were just like, where are you at? And the one night I never not stay at my house because we don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay home. I went to Los Lunas to my really good friend's house to watch the parade that they have there. So we had stayed the night and they were like, we need to go see you out there. And I was like, no, I'm going to drive to you. I'm driving home right now. And they were like, we're at your house. I was like, is Alana there? And they were like, no. Well, where is she? We need to talk to you. So I remember them pulling up around 9 o'clock. I sat in the yard, in my friend's yard. I just remember just sitting on the pacing back and forth. Like, why won't they tell me? What do you mean? Like, why won't they tell me anything? Just tell me she's okay. And I looked at my friend and I just gave her this look like, why won't they tell me she's okay? Why won't they tell me anything? And my friend had lost her daughter 3 years ago. Or 2 years, something like that. So that's how I know her. That's how we found each other.
Mm-hmm.
We were also on a search for a missing man in Belen. And that's how I met my friend. And I just happened to be at her house. And they got there around 9:30, 9:20. And I was on the floor in the dirt, I remember. And I said, is my daughter okay? And they said, no, she's not. She was hurt on Catherine in Colombia. She was shot. They wouldn't tell me how many times she's been shot. All they could tell me was they got a call to one of those alerts saying that shots were fired in the area of Catherine and Colombia. And when they got there, they found her in her car dead. My baby's 19 years old. And I don't understand why she was in that area. I got off the phone with her at 11:24 on July 3rd p.m. And I told her, where you at? She said, I'm home. I said, okay, stay home. You're not going anywhere. She said, no, I'm home, Mom. She kind of sounded bothered, though. But yeah, like I was nagging. Okay, stay home. She's like, okay, I'm going to bed now. Good night, Alana. Good night, Mom. I love you, too. And we hung up. And then they're coming and telling me that my daughter's dead and that she's been on Catherine in Colombia. And who would want to hurt my daughter? They asked me, like, do you know anybody that would want to hurt her? No, we're not even from here. No.
And just for clarity, so you don't live near there?
Oh, no, we live in the Northeast. This is in the Southeast.
That's by campus.
Yeah. It wasn't until maybe 3 days later when I went to the scene, I realized, oh my God, my baby doesn't even know what she drove into. It's an apartment building that's burnt down with wood windows, like boarded up. It's all boarded up. So when I got there, it's all dark. There's no street lights. It's the worst. It's ugly. You can feel the evil presence in that area. We were sitting there and it was about 72 hours after she had got killed. The news came to interview me. And as they were leaving, someone yelled out some ugly things. And the day of the memorial, I think it was 48 hours after the candlelight, when we went to do the candlelight, there was a white car driving around laughing at us. And I just couldn't believe the fact that somebody, it looked like kids just driving around laughing. And there's a lot of, you could just see kids hanging out in that area, lost. And I don't understand what my daughter was doing on that side of town, but she did. I guess she went and seen a friend at 12:30. And that friend, because at the crime scene, she wrote a note and she explained, I was the last one to see Alana at 12:30. She said she was going home. She told me, I love you. Have a good night. Be safe. And then she got a screenshot of Alana. Somebody told her to go to 1515 Columbia. And all of a sudden, the detective that's working her case is out for a week. He told me he's out for the week. Yesterday, I demanded questions, answers, something at the detective's office downtown on Silver, and they told me he's on a very well-needed vacation.
Who's investigating the case while he's on vacation?
People in the office, they claim. There's someone else investigating. And what do you do? Who do you call? I've reached out to just family members trying to find a lawyer because the victims impact people from New Mexico. They denied any funding to help me with any services for my daughter's funeral. Thank you to everybody that's donated to the GoFundMe, to the Zelle, to the Cash App. Because of the community here and friends and my loved ones, that's how my daughter is being buried. That's how we're handling services, because New Mexico crimes of victims did nothing to help. I had to pay for her card to get out of the impound when the detective told me before he left on vacation, you don't have to pay nothing. And when I got there, they were very rude. And the lady, Rebecca was her name, from the victims. Supposedly she's covering my whatever case load, but she was rude about the fact that they couldn't fund me, but I can file an appeal if I want to. And I just remember hanging up because my daughter was murdered senselessly for no reason. My daughter left her wallet at home, her ID at home. So I don't understand why she was murdered. I don't know how many times my daughter was shot. I still haven't seen my daughter at all since the day I walked out of my house at 5 p.m. July 3rd.
Okay, now listen up. This is the part of the show where you get to get involved. This is the call to action. I want you to listen to Andrea talk about what you can do to help her in her fight for justice. What can my listeners do to help you right now?
You can share it. You can add on Facebook. We have Justice for Alana. Please be a friend of ours so you can be there to be the advocate for justice for Alana. Not only justice for Alana, but justice for all these teenage kids that are getting murdered senselessly in Albuquerque. My daughter was the 72nd homicide of Albuquerque, New Mexico in 2023. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. And it starts with the parents, too. Where are they getting these guns from? How are they sleeping knowing children like this are on the streets? Bad people. I'm not even just children, just ugliness is on the streets. And these laws in New Mexico, they need to change them. How can you be 18 and legally be able to apply for a shotgun? But you have to be 21 to apply for a legal firearm, like a small handgun? That is insane.
Or to drink.
And yeah. And I come from California where there's cops everywhere. They would have been on this in a second. Detectives would not sleep. And it wasn't until the day my daughter was murdered, I stopped watching the first 48. But I've watched the first 48 most of my life. And I remember that Alana used to get so upset because that's all I wanted to watch. And that was all that was ever on TV that I wanted to watch. But that's what I wanted to be, a cop when I was younger. But I was a teen mom, and it's okay because look at how we did great. And we made it, and life changed. And I don't understand how some of these detectives say we're working on it, or how are you going to go get yourself on a yacht knowing that you just looked a mother in the eye and told her that you promised to work on this case. And then less than 48 hours later, you're leaving, you're calling me. You're not coming to me in person. You're calling me and telling me you'll be out of the office for the week. And then lied to me about it because now they're telling me he's out for a few weeks. So that is not okay. What does a mother do? I need answers. Can you guys please share that website? Email the general attorney's office if you can. I'm getting on it, but I was told I can file a complaint with the general attorney. I've emailed the mayor's office. I have a really good friend, Amanda Romero, who lost her son here in Albuquerque as well. And, you know, that it's amazing that I have a support system the way I do with other mothers here in New Mexico, because little did I know that I would be in their shoes one day. I never knew. I was just always an advocate for crime against children here in New Mexico. It's sickening. It's disgusting. All the babies, Victoria Martin, I remember donating waters to her, that big old park, Mariposa Park. I just remember being there and just sharing love with everyone and all the love that she had, and the community came together for that, and just how sickening it's gotten worse since then. Way worse. And people need to speak up and stop being scared and stop hiding in your house. You guys got cameras out there. Turn the film in. Please.
My listeners are used to hearing about this. It's something that I talk about all the time. You know, my brother was killed by my stepdad 36 years ago, and he's been free for 36 years to hurt whatever other kids he wanted to for that long. He did a bunch of other things. But Victoria Martins, Omar Varela, Jeremiah Valencia, like baby Brianna, there are so many cases after Jacob's case that just continues. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for advocating against child abuse here in New Mexico. It's a huge problem. And thank you for coming on the show and just being vulnerable and sharing your story. I know it's not easy. Anything else that you want to tell my listeners before we wrap?
Jordan Monart is the detective working this case, supposedly working the case, and I've already blown up his email. Jordan Monart, Albuquerque Police Department. You guys can call him.
We can put it in the notes.
And his email as well. And just TikTok has a link for Alana as well. Spread the word on Alana's murder. We deserve justice. She deserves justice. She did not deserve what she got in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I brought her here to live a better life, to get away from the ugliness, the gang lives in California. And never did I imagine she would be senselessly murdered here in Albuquerque. And the cops have it's just like another file. And I refuse. My daughter will not be another file. Alana Gamboa, remember her name. Justice for Alana Gamboa. We will get the people that did this to her.
Justice for Alana Gamboa. Hashtag Justice for Alana Gamboa. If you share that, also make sure that you tag the Facebook page, or if you're on TikTok, tag the TikTok page. Let's show Andrea and the rest of the family that they aren't alone, that we are behind them, and that they have an army of people behind them.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Everyone, thank you. Thank you.
If you or someone you know has information related to the murder of Alana Gamboa, please call 505-843-STOP. You can remain anonymous. The family of Alana Gamboa has been hit with some really difficult and expensive costs related to her funeral. And as a result, the family's raising money using a GoFundMe as well as Zelle and Cash App. So I'm going to have all of that information in the show notes below. If you feel motivated to give to Andrea and the family of Alana Gamboa, please go to the Facebook page, which is listed in the show notes below, or the TikTok page, and make sure you give them a follow. Let them know that you came from True Consequences. And finally, I just want to say thank you to Andrea and the rest of the family for allowing me to cover this case. And with that, thanks for listening, and stay safe, New Mexico.